Okay, then, so we're all set. Person here for Rohan. All right, I'm Stephanie Bushfest here.
Good morning. Oh, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm sorry, I come in here and we start running like crazy, and sometimes we wake up at 6 o'clock at night, so forgive me. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the cozy confines of the Irvington Township Municipal Council Chambers. We wanted to have it outside, but the Mother Nature didn't cooperate with us, but I'm glad to see so many of you here with us today so that we can unveil our summer saving plan. Before we begin the program, I'd like to start with our Irvington High School Color Guard, who will be conducting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
High School Color Guard, thank you to everyone present today. My name is Lucy Malik. I'm the Police Director of the Irvington Township. It's my honor to be standing here today before you all as the head of the Irvington Police Department. I am extremely proud of the officers who stand with us day by day, who are the first and last line of defense. Their sacrifices not always recognized, but I'd like to give them a round of applause because this summer plan will be asking them to do more with less. Thank you. Now, I've been told to discuss a collaborative effort, and one of the things that I would say about our mayor is that when it comes to reaching out, when it comes to meeting with friends and let's call them foes alike, he has been very, very active in trying to get everyone on board, to get everyone to believe in that one team, one drum philosophy. He has reached out to everyone that I know of, and moving forward by reaching out to everyone, talking to everyone, and trying to get assistance from everyone. I personally believe that it's my job in inheriting the legacy of former Police Director Tracy Bowers, former Police Director Joseph Santiago, to ensure that I move the township forward by reaching out to other municipalities, by reaching out to other entities, and we've done that as a part of putting together this summer plan. So I would like to thank Special Agent Yakum from the DEA. It's my understanding that we've been able to solidify a memorandum of agreement that will allow one of our police officers to be assigned to that federal agency, and we're looking forward to having their cooperation and assistance here within the township. I'd also like to thank Captains Nash and D'Alessio from the Bureau of Narcotics. I met with them personally, and we've been able to assign an officer to the Bureau of Narcotics, and they will be lending us assistance as well here within the township in the coming months, so I'm looking forward to that. The last thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to thank Police Director Venable and Chief Campos of the Newark Police Department. We've been able to establish a border patrol along our common borders so that, criminals, they don't have boundaries. They don't exercise within jurisdictions. They move wherever they want to. With shrinking municipal budgets and lowered manpower, it's good to collaborate and pool our resources to address common issues that affect ourselves, Maplewood, Newark, and other townships that we share boundaries with. So I'm grateful to all of the assistance that they've been able to lend us, and I'm looking forward to working with them now and in the future to keep all of our respective townships safe. So the first person that I'm going to begin with is no stranger to this township. I believe he was a great police director during the time that he was here, and I can't express to you the degree of police knowledge that this man contains within his brain. It's amazing. I talk to him, I have questions, and immediately he provides a response. He's our consultant. He's very, very impressive in his knowledge and expertise. Has been very helpful in putting this plan together. I'd like to welcome former Police Director Joseph Santiago.
Thank you. I'll leave my business card at the entrance here. My new agent. First of all, thank you, Mr. Mayor, county exec, elected officials, other law enforcement partners, and obviously your community. I'd like to start by saying one thing. One, I want to be able to thank you. I had the opportunity, I had served here for 6 years. I had a tremendous experience here. I grew to respect and still do the members of the Irvington Police Department. And above all, I still respect and admire the citizens of this community who were so active and so supportive of the police. Particularly at a time, I think, throughout the United States when, police forces and their relationships with the communities come into question. That's not the issue that we had here in Irvington. We had some issues, but the issue about the relationship, the nature of the relationship between its police department and its community was never in doubt, and continues not to be in doubt. I always used to get the keys after I left council meetings and the community spoke. That in my next life, I did want to come back as a fireman because everybody loves a fireman. So I'll leave that for my next life, but onto the life that I do have. I want to thank the council for giving me the opportunity to work with the members of the police department and also closely with the mayor. The summer plan represents the mayor's vision as to what needs to be done within this community with the summer approaching. I think when we broke down the data, it talked about Irvington on specific, but Essex County and New Jersey in general, that 70% of violent crime occurs after the summer starts in June. Fully 50% of it occurs in those hot summer months. And it sets the table for the public safety involvement in every community, in particular Irvington. So the idea of the mayor's plan was to be able to get out in front of it, recognizing that it had limited resources. The plan looked to build on and leverage with whatever already was here. The police departments developed innovative strategies that work toward making the police officers visible in certain areas and that engage in proactive law enforcement. And engage in strategies that are effective in crime fighting, but are not so subversive or intrusive as to not be able to be supported by the community it serves. I think those are the notions that once you look at the enforcement strategies, that's going to stand out for you. Another part of what the mayor communicated to me, what he wanted and envisioned, and I worked with the police director on, was the idea of community involvement and community participation and establishing a role for police aides and community service officers as part of his plan. So in that perspective, it's not merely a police plan or a law enforcement plan, but it also involves one of getting the citizen soldiers, community service officers, who represent this community out into the street to be able to help with other issues that don't require somebody to be arrested. Things like code enforcement, community patrols, community surveys, and visibility. And last but not least, the plan, and I think the police director talked about it, involves collaborative partnerships. As a consequence of this plan, as a foundation has been established for Irvington Police Department to work in the long term with its sister agencies in North, Essex County Sheriff's Department and the Prosecutor's Office, so that we're able to build upon the efforts of this summer. But I think the important aspects of the plan is that we've identified what people are the issues within the community, what areas have historically been issues within the community. We know where they are, we know who they are. And members of the Irvington Police Department working with its law enforcement partners are going to make sure that those people don't create problems for the rest of the people in this community. So I want to thank the mayor. And also for the opportunity for me to be engaged in what I think is a great township once again. Thank you very much.
Next, we'll have comments from Senior Officer in Command, Mitchell. Before he comes up, though, I do want to say something. Captain Mitchell has been so dedicated to this plan. He's been so dedicated to the new direction of the Irvington Police Department. I can't tell you how much assistance he's lent to me or how many times we've met and we've looked at all aspects of this plan and all changes, and we've looked at it on a microscopic level. Just what happens if one thing happens today? What do we do an hour from now? What do we do a day from now? What do we do a week from now? So he's been very, very good, and I just want to give him his acknowledgments while I have the opportunity to stand up here. Everyone, please welcome Captain Mitchell.
Good afternoon. Historically, each summer, there is increases in violent crime and quality of life violations in our township as well as surrounding communities. This summer, under the direction of Mayor Tony Ball, Police Director Musa Malik, and a host of other contributors, we have developed a partnership with several law enforcement agencies to combat issues that face our community, just like many of the surrounding communities. Our summer crime plan calls for partnerships with other law enforcement agencies and employs strategic crime control techniques to combat crime and quality of life offenses within our township. This process will be centered on 4 crime reduction principles: accurate and timely intelligence, effective tactics, rapid deployment of personnel and resources, and relentless follow-up and assessment. Citizens can expect to see various initiatives during the course of the next 3 months. There will be outside roll calls, along with deployment of our mobile command unit. The areas that have been chosen were chosen due to their high visibility. Citizens of Irvington and visitors to our township should also expect to see increased traffic enforcement. This enforcement will focus on those drivers who refuse to abide by motor vehicle regulations. For those individuals who fail to abide by our speed restrictions and make Irvington dangerous for pedestrians and other motorists, there will be targeted radar enforcement, specifically in areas historically that have been having problems, as well as those areas that have generated citizens' complaints. Officers will be assigned to walk and ride locations, particularly in our business and residential neighborhoods. Business owners and citizens are encouraged to bring current issues to their attention. Our common border with the city of Newark will be patrolled on a regular basis. Irvington and Newark officers will team up together to focus their attention on these areas of concern. Operational grids have been identified using crime statistics. These grids will have focused attention from patrol and plainclothes officers and units throughout the summer. These areas may change throughout the course of the summer based on current crime statistics and analysis. It is our wish that the summer crime plan empowers the citizens and business owners of Irvington to take a step forward and join this partnership. Our goal is to reduce violent crime, property crime, and quality of life violations. In other words, to minimize disorder and establish a greater sense of community within our county. Thank you.
Next, I want to welcome the Chief of Investigators, Anthony Ambrose. I do want to say, Anthony, before I'm going to do this to all of you guys, so just be advised that before you come up, I'm going to say something. When I first took over as the police director, I actually either emailed, text, or called Anthony, I don't know how many times. I showed up at events to talk to him. Anthony has a wealth of knowledge. He was always willing to work with this township and work with this administration. He is no stranger. He's always ready to lend assistance when we ask for it. When we came down to speak to him specifically about the summer plan, he gave us so many different resources. It's greatly appreciated. Everybody, welcome Anthony.
Thank you. When we first arrived, the prosecutor and I was concerned because Irvington's saying they need money, we still have new cars in front. We got all the traffic rating for 6995. We went up to the mayor's office and we thought he had a new addition put on, and he said, no, he just cleaned it up and painted it. So you can see the way the township was going, and the pride that the mayor has and the people that work here have. It's no secret that I was a North police officer for 20 years, and at heart, I'm a North cop, even though I was chief detective of the prosecutor's office. But I must say, and the prosecutors can allude to it, that every time we came to Irvington, and most of the time we came up because it was a homicide. And I could mention Slicks on Christmas morning, and I could mention a double, the street up here, the Irvington Police Department. and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, they're the most professional, had their ducks in order, had information available, and worked with them. And I have to say that. And I called Chief Chase at the time, I called Chief Martin Santiago, wrote letters here, and I'll tell you, it's a testament of the pride that they have in the company. I think our biggest strength in Essex County and Irvington is diversity and collaboration. And I think without that, we can't do it. And I have to say that when the mayor took office, he came down to see us, and I'm demanding, and I like that because I'm demanding. And we kind of, we're used to it from Joe Santiago when he took over. But the mayor wanted dates, and he wanted mandates, and he wanted to know when we're going to do it. And we knew that he was no joke, that he wanted results. Tracy Bauer, I'm looking at him. Tracy cared about this township first and foremost. And I think that it's important that we work together. We're never going to have the results. We're never going to have a safer community. All the plans in the world. I like the plan, and I like listening to what Joe Santiago said. Co-minglization of city agencies are important. The fire department is important. Because the fire department go in there with the health department, we close down an establishment when we need to close. Fire department, I have the utmost respect, even though I used to think they slept until I became a cop. Until the whole nights, seeing them battle and fires when you were in that warm police car. They deserve it. They deserve it. So I just want to say that Director Malik, he calls up, we talk. I know he's an attorney, so he asks more questions than he should. He definitely cares. So we're in it. Prosecutor's office, you'll hear from the prosecutor, and we'll be sending our community response team when needed up to the council. Good luck.
All right, now, Essex County Prosecutor Carolyn Murray. I actually remember Carolyn was appointed to her position, and she made a vow. I remember reading the press release, she said she vows to return to Essex County to make this county safe. And I can say that she is my office makes requests to the prosecutor's office all the time. Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? And we get a lot of leeway in terms of what actions we want to take to move this township forward and keep our residents safe. So please welcome Carolyn Murray to Essex County.
Thank you, Director. I want to commend right on time. The summer should be for all of us, and maybe particularly for our youngest people, our students and our kids, a great time and a fun time, and more low-party time. But without planning for public safety, it can be quite the opposite. We're here today at Chief and I to pledge our support to this effort. We have, as many of you are aware, a Homicide Major Crimes Task Force. Irvington has been an active member of that from the beginning. That is a task force that takes ownership and takes care of most of our crimes, the homicides and other major crimes that occur anywhere in the county. And Irvington's participation in that is something we appreciate, and it helps us serve everyone in Irvington better. The other specific item that we have been engaged in and will continue to be, particularly during the summer, is narcotics investigations. Because as everyone is probably aware, illicit narcotics trade fuels violence. And so our mission in our narcotics task force is to address the middle level dealers, not the international dealers that the feds take care of, not the street dealers that Irvington Police Department takes care of, but rather the folks in the middle who are supplying, again, too many times our young people with the drugs that take them off course of success. So we are partners in this. I very much, as I said, commend the leadership for having established this plan, but I want to join with the chief and thank you, the men and women of the Irvington Police Department for the work that they do every day. I was fortunate to be an assistant prosecutor in the prosecutor's office early in my career in the very late 80s and through part of the 90s, and I had the opportunity to try many cases that came out of Irvington. I actually got to try one when I came back with Paul Ardell as first assistant, and I have to say the quality of the officers, second lieutenant, there have been times when resources were stretched, there have been times when personnel was been short. When you deal with the actual officers, I never had an experience of dealing with anything other than the highest quality. So in conclusion, I want you to know that we're also looking at the better parts of the summer in our office, and we have students from Irvington participating at many levels of our internship programs. We have an internship graders. So we have children at every level and youth participating with us. You know it, folks, we have children who maybe are not participating this summer, so we're going to work with us each summer and again, address what we want this summer to be. So thank you for having me, and please know that the Assistant County Prosecutor's Office stands in partnership with the Irvington Police Department to get into a good summer. Thank you very much.
Next, I'm going to introduce Sheriff Montour. Sheriff Montour has been the longest serving sheriff within Essex County. I remember when I first, that's a good thing, we usually doing things right. And I actually do a second one. I believe that when we went down there, I met with him and he has a way about him. It's like, sure. No way. So we got more shores than no ways. And one of the other things is because of this meeting introductions and opening the door for us, we were able to get the bureau and narcotics appointments. So I really appreciate that. Everyone, please welcome Sheriff Montour.
Mayor Boss, you gotta tell your director not to tell people how long we went around. My good idea. Mayor Boss gets elected, and day or two later, he calls, let's have a meeting, go to his office, Stephanie, I think you were there, follow-up meetings, more meetings. Director Bowers calls me 2 or 3 meetings after that. How much can we do? Can we do this? Can we get this? Can we get that? New director, have a meeting. This is somebody who wants to make sure that we get things done in Irvington. And that's what we're supposed to do. That's exactly what we're supposed to do. Folks hold our feet to the fire and we have to deliver. That's why you elect us. Make sure we deliver. Our resources will be shared with Irvington, as well as all of our partners from West Orange, the mayor from West Orange, the chief. Chief Ambrose talked about collaboration. We're all in the same army. We're fighting the same war. Just a different platoon. But believe me, we are an army that is together. There was no difference between the Newark Police Department, where I spent all those years and I recruited Ambrose and Santiago. I was able to impart everything that I knew in about 2 or 3 minutes. It turned out okay. But the fact is that we knew then that we had to work together. We need that collaboration that we talked about. And I bless you that you will have that from us. Our resources, in addition to Irvington Park, we try to maintain a sanctuary here. There should be one sanctuary at least in every community. Work hard working with Irvington to make sure it remains that way. But we will expand our resources and work with you as much as we possibly can to make sure that people of Irvington get the law enforcement and public safety that they deserve. Thank you.
So for our next speaker, our next guest, there's really nothing for me to say. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You can drive through Essex County and you can see his accomplishments. They're everywhere. And I think there's a reason why Joseph DiVincenzo is here today. It's part of his continuing commitment to every municipality within Essex County. I'd like to welcome him here. Everyone, please give him a big round of applause.
Mr. Rector, first of all, Joe Santiago says when he comes back, he wants to come back as a fireman or whatever. Well, I want to come back as Sheriff Montour. Because that's the best job in the world. But let me say, Tony Bloss, the mayor of Irvington, Joe D., we're tied at the hip. I couldn't be more proud of what he's accomplished in a short period of time. Now, he can't do it alone. He has to have a team with him. He's got a strong council that supports him each and every way. There's no question in my mind Irvington's on the roll, and it's on its way back because of the leadership that he's providing along with his great administrative team. If you want to see, it's not me running the county, it's the team that I assembled. And the team that he has assembled, there's no question. It's probably one of the best teams in the state of New Jersey. And Irvington, he's always ahead. Tony Voss works 24/7. And with the sheriff mentioned, the day after he won, he was in our office. He wanted to know what you're going to do for Irvington, how you're going to help us. Not only with crime, but also in development and stuff like that, and parks and programs and stuff. And Tony knows that Essex County is there for him. And he has friends not only throughout Essex County, he has friends throughout the state. You can see Mayor Parisi from West Orange here, that's here supporting. You can see Mo Butler, who is the chief of staff for Senator Cory Booker. I mean, he reaches out to everyone. It's just like we're talking, 13 years I've been the county exec, and when it comes to public safety on the county level, it hasn't been me, it's been our team. Our county prosecutor, Carolyn Murray, Chief Ambrose, and of course, Sheriff Boncour, working with the 22 municipalities. Because I had never been a law enforcement, all I could do is be supportive to the people that are in position. And they're the very, very best. And you have the very best here too. The Irvington Police and also the firemen. But no one can do this job alone. All right? You have to work together as a team. And that's what he's doing today, is to making sure, hey, it's early enough, school's going to be ending soon. All right, we want to make sure the kids are busy, the kids are doing what they have to do as far as recreation, and the bad people are going to be dealt with. But they can't do it. Somebody needs to have their back. And there's no question, when it comes to our prosecutor and our sheriff and our chief, we're going to make sure we're supporting Irvington each step of the way. Irvington is what's going on here right now. I mean, we were just at the hospital, Irvington General Hospital. The development's taking place there. Watch what's going to happen under the leadership of this mayor here and the council there at Irvington. I'm just very, very proud to be part of this great team. I'm very proud that Irvington's part of the 22 municipalities and our 800,000 people here. Because what the sheriff said is true. Our diversity is our strength. There's no county better than this county in the state of New Jersey. Thank you very much.
Wojcik, please stand. Checking out criminal investigations of the Detective Division and Nitro. I want to give everyone who tends to be in Irvington and mess around, we'll not play those games anymore. So everyone understand, if you plan to do wrong in this township, you better find someplace else to go. Amen. Because we will not tolerate it. And we've assembled a team to make sure that we get the job done. So let's give them another round. We also have Detective Sergeant Quasim Austin. He will be heading up our detective division. We have Detective Sergeant Anna Perez. She will also be in charge of the Nitro unit and responsible for apprehensions and prosecutions of those involved. So I won't go too far into depth, but don't take her short because she'll come get you. All right? We also have Detective Sergeant Taj Jackson. Detective Sergeant Jackson will be in charge of Special Task Force. That's all we're going to give on that, but just know we're going to come get you if you mess up. And also, he is here. Lieutenant Ray Hoffman, please stand. Lieutenant Hoffman oversees the Irvington Police Department Communications Section, dispatch area, takes all calls and monitors when people call in for us and they need help. He's in charge of that unit. So let's give all of them a round of applause. Now, when I talk about the administrative team each and every day, I couldn't get anything done without them. I would like my directors to please stand. Please sit down. We have Director Ted Green of Housing Services with our department. We have Donald Lloyd, Director of Recreation. We have our Assistant Business Administrator, Althea Headley. Director of Finance, Fahim Rose. She has a lot of titles here. We have our health director / aide to the mayor, Dr. Stephanie Bush Pascal. And I'm going to actually do this because I want him to stand. You heard this later. This is our township attorney who's injured, but he got up just for the urban We also have our director of fire, John Brown. We have our municipal clerk, Kyle Weiner. I want to thank you guys for all the work that you do each and every day, especially for putting up with me each and every day, because I know it's a hard task. I do want to also thank our chief of the fire department, John Tierney. And also, you know, when we talk about a collaboration of what we need to do here, it starts at the top. And I have two people here. We have one of our deputy chiefs from the fire department. We also have our chief of police, Mr. Michael Chase, and I would like to give him a round of applause. Also, I believe you are the first African American deputy chief. Stand up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Deputy Chief Antonio Garrett. Pleasure to be here.
Say it again, because I want to hear it. I'm the first African American chief in the history of this township. Say it again. All right.
Deputy Chief Antonio Garrett.
I wanted Antonio to come up here personally because I want you to see that there's a lot of firsts. We have our first African American fire director, which was John Brown, in history. And when we started to talk about a summer crime plan, it's just not about criminals. It's about code enforcement. It's about the fire department. It's about banding together to get the resources that we need to make our township great. And I'm going to introduce again the Director of Housing Services, Mr. Ted Green. Stand up. And I'm going to introduce the entire code enforcement department for the township of Gorman. Guys, please stand. We will be out there. We will be making sure that we keep our commitment to making our township clean and safe. And all aspects of this plays a big part in what we do going forward. So I would like to thank them personally, but thank all of you and hope that this is the beginning of a relationship going forward. Where we can share ideas, share resources, and most importantly, if you see something, say something. Because that's the only way we can make our township together. We can make it better, all working together and making sure that Irvington is two things, safe and clean. And before I finish, I'll be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the former police director, now retired. He's still a young man, but he's retired. Mr. Tracy Baxter. He has a number of hats. You heard from him as the police director, but Mr. Malik is also the business administrator, so you know he does double duty. I don't know how long he can continue to do double duty, but let's give Mr. Malik a round. So I want to say thank you again for everyone for attending. Let's all get ready to go to work. Let's make this a safe summer for all of our representatives here, all of our visitors here, and all of our residents here. Thank you. God bless.